everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. We have a lot to get into today as usual, so make sure that you subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share it with your friends. Here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JRayTheFanatic.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Britt. You guys can follow me on all social media at @IamBrittJohnson.
All right, you guys. Well, let's jump in with this news. Also, you guys were just talking about this before we went live. The first story involves Draymond Green, and here you are representing the Warriors. So good job, you two, with the blue and yellow.
No, that's not at all who we're representing. I don't even know why you said that. We told you not. That's not what we're doing.
Is representing Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
Hey, I am.
She's the best. I would prefer to be on her team than the Warriors team, please, because we can get rid of
getting away with it. Right. Feed them to the tiger.
You gotta get some cheetah print, some tiger print on them, Britt, and then we can both be Team Carol Baskin. I didn't even finish watching Tiger King. I was not that invested in the story.
Oh, yeah. I finished it. I actually posted a picture on my IG like a couple weeks ago, and I had like a tiger shirt on, and I was like, shirt from the Carol Baskin's fall collection. It was a pretty funny one. It was good. But yeah, she's the goat.
I like that.
She's not the goat. She's a murderer. What?
And that's why she's the goat. Jackie, have you not always said you want to plan this perfect murder that you get away with? Carol Baskin is the goat.
But getting away with it means nobody knows I did it. We know she did it.
Everybody knows she did it. Everybody knows she did it, and she still got away with it. Come on, Jackie. Come on, Jackie.
I mean, I'm not mad. If y'all see me walking around with a tiger and somebody is missing, I didn't do it. I didn't have anything to do with it.
So, as much as I love about hearing, the brilliant ways that Jackie can plot a murder, I think we should talk about Draymond Green and Dame Lillard. Let's jump right into it, you guys. So, this is a rumor that's been going around. Dame Lillard has apparently been urging the Trailblazers front office to trade for Draymond Green. According to The Athletic, he and his group have been campaigning for this to happen for the last couple of years. So, this has been kind of in the works for a while now. So, Draymond Green as a player, he typically hasn't been putting up, these crazy, remarkable numbers, but he does give his team an all-around performance. He's a huge asset to Steph and Clay when they're on the court together. So he provides a lot of value in that way. The Trailblazers haven't really had somebody like that to kind of jump in and be an asset to both Dame and CJ. So he could come up and sort of bolster up the Trailblazers roster like that. So let's talk about this. Is this a good move? Do you guys support it? What are your thoughts? Britt, let's start with you. Do you think the Warriors would even consider this? That would leave Steph basically alone without, the teammates that he's used to. Is this something the Warriors would do?
I think it's something the Warriors would do, yes, because like I said yesterday, Draymond is averaging 0.5 points per game right now, and we're not talking about the Draymond Green that was an NBA Defensive Player of the Year. That's not the same Draymond anymore. Like, Draymond has not been that guy for a couple years, so I get why maybe Dame was gunning for him a couple seasons ago when he was one of the top defensive and was the Defensive Player of the Year, but now, I just don't see it. I think obviously, and he's older too. I think he's kind of dwindling out of being this great defender that we all knew and loved Draymond to be. Yes, he's still, effective on the court, but I don't see why I wouldn't, if I was the Trailblazers, I wouldn't give everything up for him. Not even in the slightest. I think there's a lot of other options that you could go with. But I see why the Warriors would be comfortable letting him go, because there are younger guys now that are stepping into places. Andrew Wiggins has been playing well. Then obviously they have James Wiseman coming in that's supposed to be that big guy that's going to, end up being the defensive future of the Warriors. So I could see why the Warriors could, depending on what the deal is, consider getting rid of him because the Warriors kind of are at a time where their era of the Steph and Clay and Draymond is kind of going to start dwindling out in the next couple years, and then you're going to start getting that younger core in. So they've already started to do that. They've already started to get those younger guys in there and start building their new teams. So I could see if they would, trade, the Blazers for one of their younger guys, maybe two of their younger guys, or maybe a couple draft picks or something like that, because the Warriors are going to be trying to build something up. But I just don't see how it super benefits the Blazers. I don't think that Draymond Green is going to be the key to get the Blazers to a Western Conference Finals or anything. So I think they need something a little bit different if that's what they want to do. If not, it's just a random trade. I don't see the huge benefit for either team.
And Jackie, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, rumor that's going around. Do you think that this would work? Do you like this idea, or do you agree with Britt that it's not really necessarily the smartest move on either side?
I mean, I loved the idea a few years ago. Right now, I feel exactly like Britt. If it would have happened when we first started hearing the rumors, I think it would have been a great thing. I think it would have ignited something in Draymond, because you would have traded him to a rival. So the defensive prowess that we see that he has with the Warriors, I think that would have gone up exponentially at that point, because it would have shaken up the room just like that, Devin. It would have been a good look for them. But now he is at the tail end of his career, and his numbers consistently, just look up his stats. It's literally mathematically a slight decline every single year. And I just don't know if now is the time that you want to do that. If you do that, you're doing that hoping that he's going to feel some type of way about being traded to a rival. And all of a sudden, at least for 1 or 2 years, he's going to be the Draymond of old. And that's a huge risk. I just don't know if that's a risk that I would take. I definitely think, Dame needs some sort of piece, some sort of asset. I just can't, and I like Draymond. I love to not like him. I love how grimy he is. I love the way he plays defense. But I just don't know for Dame and that franchise specifically, if this seems like we kind of like him, so we want him here, but we still are thinking about him, about how he used to be, not how he is. So I just don't know if that makes sense to me. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be mad if it happened. Like I said, I'd be wishful that, okay, now he's just going to feel some type of way, but that's a risk, and I'm not sure I would take that risk.
Yeah,
interesting. Okay.
It's a rumor. I don't see this even being true. I don't even feel like Dame probably feels like this still. I feel like, yes, there probably was a point several times in the last couple of years where he's probably mentioned it or thought about it, but I don't think he's thinking about it today. I don't even know how much validity or how much whatever we could even put behind this rumor. I don't know. I just don't even feel like it's a thing. It doesn't make much sense to either team.
Draymond seems to be already in the mindset of, I'm at the tail end of my career. Let me start building up my broadcasting. Let me start, he seems to already be planning for retirement. So I don't know if you have a guy that you can clearly see that's planning for retirement. If you want to say, hey, we know you got all your assets together and you're figuring out, the next stage of your life, but can you put that off and come play with us for a little bit? That's not a smart move to me.
That has won several rings. It's not like this is a Carmelo Anthony situation where Carmelo is begging for a ring. He just wants to go, or Chris Paul begging for a ring. He's still putting everything on the court every single night. He still wants a ring. This guy's already won a couple rings. He's already won Defensive Player of the Year. He's just chilling, just okay, I guess I'll play these games and keep making some money while I can still do it or whatever. But you don't get a guy like that to go join a couple guys that really are wanting a ring and wanting to win a ring when he's just kind of I already got a couple. I'm good,
Right.
Mm-hmm. It seems like people in the chat are also thinking that there's no way Draymond's leaving at this point. So, yeah, I mean, you guys are absolutely right. This is just a rumor. I don't necessarily feel like Dame is behind the scenes really pushing super hard for this to happen. Yes, maybe it was brought up in conversations here and there, like you were saying, Britt, but I don't know that this is a huge focus for him right now. So yeah, I don't necessarily see this happening either, but let's get into our next update here. So we talk about this a lot, how people get really overexcited about the different things that happen within any sports league. You know, people are talking about who's going to win the finals before the season has even started, who's taking home Super Bowl MVP before that season has even started. People get way ahead of themselves, and I feel like that's happening again this season as usual. So let's start off by talking about the Nets. So after two big wins at the start of the season, people were saying, oh, the Nets are heading into the finals. They're going to be in the finals. But now they're panicking because KD is supposed to be out for 7 days due to exposure to a COVID positive person. That will mean will miss 4 games, the next 4 games. And then the Heat, who made the finals last year, they have the worst point differential in the East. The Bucks have the same record as the Warriors, and we've talked about this this week, how the Warriors were under fire for having a slow start to the season. We see that now Steph is coming back. Steph put up a career high on Sunday night's game, so he's performing much better. The Western Conference in general is looking kind of wild at this point, but we're still at the start of the season. I mean, this is the very beginning. So, Jackie, do you feel like it is way too soon for people to be making such grand statements about the finals, about players' futures, since we are still so early on in the season, or is this kind of conversation justified?
No, yeah, it's definitely too early. And I had said that off top when we came back. I said, look, it's going to take some time for these guys to ramp up because this was the shortest break in history. So I didn't expect to see anyone in full swing right now. It does suck that KD is going to be out and he's going to miss some games. But, I mean, it is what it is. That's the time we live in right now. And unfortunately, these COVID positive tests, unless you're in a bubble, are going to be a thing. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. But, I mean, just it's par for the course. I think this is a lesson, not only for the Nets, but for everybody. Like, look, you've got to do better to keep yourself healthy, number one, and you have to do what you can to make sure you get on the court. But we're 7 games have we played so far? Is it 7 games? This is way too soon. Like, it's mathematically not possible for you to make a solid prediction at this point in time in the season. You know what I mean? Because the narrative a little while ago is, oh, the Warriors are done. Steph can't do it. And then he scores 62 points. They win 2 games, and now they're 4-3, and now they're right back in the conversation. Yeah, I get we need to have something to talk about so we can do conjecture, but it's 7 games. It's just way too soon. I saw them all upset that KD and Kyrie both had an opportunity to make a shot to win a game against the Wizards. They didn't do that. That was a big deal. Kawhi last night had an opportunity to tie up a game. That wasn't a thing. I've been seeing all that over social media. That's fine. I get it. We need to talk about it, but it's 7 games. If, for example, the Nets end up the top of their division, are we going to talk about this COVID thing and the fact that KD missed these games? No. If the Clippers end up at the top, all of a sudden we do have the Battle of LA, are we going to talk about how Kawhi missed a shot last night to tie up the game against No, it's 7 games. It's too soon. And I just think that everyone needs to calm down because I think teams are going to develop and get better. When we get maybe 15, 20 games in, then I think we can start having conversations about what we kind of see and where we see things going. But I think we need at least 20 games before we really start having those kinds of conversations. They're fun to have, but it's too soon.
It's too soon. Unless somebody has a season-ending injury right now, anything that happens, I feel like this early on in the season is not going to – it's not indicative of what's to come later on. Britt, do you feel that this is just the nature of sports and fans, or I mean, I guess that's my only question. Do you feel that this is just the nature of sports and fans, and we need to just accept that about how things work when you're a fan of, a basketball team?
I feel like this year more than any, or even now 2021, more than any other time has just been extra. I feel like before, yes, we kind of mentioned little things, but people don't really care about basketball until after All-Star break, until even sometimes like leading into March, So the earlier games we'll watch opening night game, and then we won't watch again really until Christmas, the Christmas Day game, and then we won't watch any of January until after All-Star break. Then everybody starts really looking at the records and really like going through everything and combing through everything. But I think now more than ever, because nobody has anything to do and everyone's still sitting in their house, we're extra sitting and watching every single game and watching like every moment that happens. But we don't normally do this. Yes, you'll have like some people that you'll have a little bit of chatter here and there, but like I think now it's just put like to the extreme just because the situations we're going through, obviously with COVID and stuff like that. But none of this matters. I remember a couple years ago, my Clippers went on like an undefeated record, won like 28 something, whatever it was, straight games. We still went on to lose in the first round that season. So it doesn't really, there's so many moments that you have early on in a season that literally tell a totally different story when you get towards the tail end of the season. Who thought Miami Heat was going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, like this last year? Like there's so many different moments that can happen. And obviously it plays to this storyline because now we have the storyline of, oh, Miami Heat, this underdog team that like nobody expected, or even the Thunder last year that was 0.2% chance to even make it to the playoffs last year. Right. And then end up seeing what they did. Every little stat and little moments, I always screenshot them. I did that. I told you guys I did that a couple weeks or like 3-4 weeks ago before the season started. I went and screenshot because ESPN had predicted who Rookie of the Year was going to be, who the champs were, all this kind of stuff, the percentages of everything. And I screenshot all of them then because I was like, I want to look back at these at the end of the season because every day, everybody's talking about something different. So we don't even remember what we originally predicted a lot of times. Right. But then to actually have what ESPN actually did right before the season started. And then I want to look at it at the end of the season and see like actually how those things turned out. And usually it's totally different. The Zion Williamson winning winning Rookie of the Year, that was everybody's 100% was going to happen last season. Ja Morant won. Like there's so many different little things that happen throughout the season. So I guess it's fun right now. It gives people things to do, but it really doesn't matter what's happening right now at all. Like there's nothing about what's happening right now that actually matters.
Yeah,
Britt,
I saw
Oh, go ahead, Jackie.
I just want to tell you what the chat says. Kevin in the chat says that this year is a sprint. It's not a marathon because there's only 72 games. And then Phenom Forever says that he watches every single game. I don't know if I agree with the whole it's a sprint thing. I don't think 10 games constitutes a sprint.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I just don't think it constitutes a sprint. And I think that teams that that would think that would get into a panic mode, and then when you start panicking, you start making errors. So I still agree with Britt. It's just it's not time to panic or start making these predictions. They're fun to make, yes. Yeah. They're fun to like Britt said, take that screenshot and look back and see if you were right or wrong. But it's not. It's just too soon to really talk about stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. So really quickly before we get into the post up, I just would like to hear from you both. Just quick answers here. Is there any team that you think does need to start panicking at this stage, or is it too early for anyone to start panicking? Britt, do you think that there is a team in the league right now that should worry? Nope. Jackie, do you?
No, I mean, the only team I was concerned about was Washington because, I always want Russell Westbrook to do good, but do I think they should panic? No, I think they should just figure out their chemistry and build. Every single team, that's all they need to do is just build. Figure out what they're doing wrong, watch the tape, and build. That's it.
Right.
I guess the only team that's kind of weird is probably the Rockets, but that's just because the James Harden situation. But other than that,
Good point. Very good point. That James Harden situation, I feel like it's just lasting forever. Okay, you guys, let's wrap up Need to Know News. And Jackie, can you take us into the post up?
Yes. All right, you guys, it's time for the post up. I hope you're excited because we got a lot to talk about. Most of it is fun today. I love this, except for the first one, which just downright pissed me off because look, threats are not appropriate at any time, you guys. They're not at all cool. I don't like them. Yesterday I had said that I didn't like how Von Miller ended his post with "you're gonna get yours" or whatever. That to me is a threat. I don't take kindly to threats. I don't take threats lightly. This isn't even a Von Miller, kind of hidden in the clues threat. This is a flat out threat. I want you guys to take a look at this. This was posted by his witness, Kevin Durant. And this is what it says. It says, on Thursday, February 18th, I will be going to the Nets versus Lakers game. I will sneak this gun shown in this picture into the arena and shoot LeBron James in the head during a timeout. You have been warned, clown face. And he tagged King James. This is not funny. This is not a joke to me. And of course, the kingdom activated and they all kind of went for him and they started threatening him. And then Kendrick's burner account, this is not Kendrick's real account, but his burner account said mental illness, be safe. Not giving you that pass. Not giving you the pass of mental illness, because we all know that that kid, what's his name, Kyle whatever, who went down to Kenosha and shot up people, he's pled not guilty on mental illness. I'm not giving you this pass. It's not funny. I think he should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. He did post an apology, not because the authorities contacted him, but because we contacted him. And he said, I'd like to publicly apologize for threatening LeBron as a joke. I've come to realize things like these are not jokes and can be taken very seriously. I have over 500 requests after going private because someone posted it on Twitter. Yeah, because you was stupid. Y'all can hate on me all y'all want, but I truly apologize. If I could go back in time and think before posting something like that, I would. And then I don't know if you can see in his what he commented below that. He says, I apologize. I may not be like you as a player, but every person deserves respect. If you somehow saw that text, then I feel really, and you feel threatened. It is not the case. I just wanted to put that out there. I don't care. And here's a fun fact, guys. This kind of threat is a crime. So it's a punishable thing under the law. You can get a maximum of 5 years, depending on what state this is in. I don't know what state this person is in. I didn't look it up. I was just too enraged. But in addition to the 5 years in prison, you can also have to serve 3 years probation after that. Devin is my fellow LeBron James fan. I'm cool with the authorities going after this guy and punishing him. I think he should be punished in some way, shape, or form, because you posted a gun in this day and age where people are going out and literally shooting people. This is inappropriate to me. I get it. My love for LeBron probably makes it worse, but I think he should serve jail time for this. What do you think?
Oh, I agree 1000%. This is such a horrific thing. This is disgusting. It's hard for me to imagine that people could even post this and think it's like even remotely funny. This is so indicative of just like a completely deranged person. And I went to school at UC Santa Barbara, and we had somebody come up and shoot people at my school, my classmates on the street that I lived in, and he had posted a video beforehand too. And I just wish that somebody had seen that early on and arrested him before it even happened. So I think these kinds of things need to be taken 1000% seriously. So this is awful. Like, I just can't even believe it. I feel so strongly about this.
Yeah, and I hope that I get to do an update soon and tell you that this person has been arrested, because I really think that needs to happen, because this is just totally inappropriate. But let me get my anger juices and let them just drift away, because y'all know that pissed me off. So let me move on to this next one, because you guys all know the controversy surrounding the WNBA team, the Atlanta Dream. If you somehow missed it, the countless times we talked about it on here, the Atlanta Dreams are co-owned by Kelly Loeffler. She's racist. I don't know how else to sugarcoat that, y'all. She's racist, and she wants to silence her players. She doesn't want them using their platforms to kind of push social change and things of that nature. So I know if you've watched TV at all, you've seen all the commercials and people talking about the Georgia runoff elections and how that was a big deal. It was such a big deal that several of the players were photographed wearing Vote Warnock shirts in the days coming right before Tuesday's election. They did so much that they ended up helped raise $236,000 in donations for Warnock's campaign. And as of before we got on this show, 98% of the polls are reporting, and it looks like they were successful. Warnock is going to win, which is awesome. And then here comes King James again, because he took this opportunity that since, they are actually out there, they actually made this happen for Warnock. They still don't want her there. Nobody in the WNBA wants Loeffler as a co-owner. So he chimes in and he tweets this. He says, think I'm going to put together an ownership group for the Dream. Who's in? Hashtag Black Votes Matter. So I love this. I think it's a great idea because Baron Davis, I don't know if you guys remember, Baron offered to buy Loeffler's interest in July. Forbes has the Atlanta Dream net worth at $65 million. LeBron James' net worth is $500 million. Baron Davis' net worth is $60 million. But this whole thing got me thinking, because we talked about this too. One of my favorite things to look forward to was Gianna going to the WNBA. I thought she was going to change the face of the WNBA and make that a viable thing. Vanessa Bryant, because of Kobe's estate, she's now worth $600 million. So I think if her, LeBron, and even Baron, if they want to go in on it, they should definitely go in on this and just buy the Dream outright. I think it'll be a great idea. Devin, I know you covered this story this morning, so I just want to get your thoughts on this really quick. Like, do you think this is something that LeBron should do on his own, or should maybe he and Vanessa? I think it would just be such a tribute to Kobe if he and Vanessa went in and did it. But what do you think about that?
I didn't even think about he and Vanessa going into it in on it together, and I actually think that that's a really great idea. I think that LeBron should absolutely try and buy the Atlanta Dream. I think that it would be better for Kelly, considering her own athletes don't even like her. So I just think all around this is a great idea, and I like the thought of preserving Gianna's legacy by Vanessa going in on this too. So I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah, and it just came to me because we saw all the videos of Kobe really trying to get involved more and all that. I just think that would be an awesome tribute, but we'll see. Either way, I hope that we should call it #Free the Dream. We should start that, because they need to be free of this woman immediately. All right, let's move on to this next one, okay? Because I'm just going to go ahead and issue some friendly advice to my ladies out there. Ladies, if you end up dating a ball player, you need to know ball is life. It should be life if they plan on being good and building a legacy where they become a household name. Ball needs to be life. And if you don't want to end up an ex like Von Miller's girl and start releasing mad text messages, maybe be a little bit understanding when they want to go in and put in that work so they can get better at their game. Austin Rivers' girlfriend, she does not fall in the category of women who want to be understanding when he wants to go to the gym and practice. Take a look at how she reacted when Austin wanted to go put in that work instead of hang out with her. Listen closely.
So?
Can I have one day to myself?
Baby, I'm trying to just get work in.
You've been getting work in.
Yo, what is the issue? Maybe I can't go to practice late for just a couple hours.
You don't want to spend the fucking day with me? Also, you have a day off! But
Yeah.
She is so...
Huh?
You did this on Christmas.
She is so mad. He pulled up anyway, though, and then posted it. Now, he wrong for that, though, because he knew she was mad. And then he pulls up to the gym and posts a shot at the gym anyway. That you petty for that, Austin. I'm not mad at it, but it was petty. But look, again, he's a baller. He needs to go work out. He needs to get better. Look, that applies to ball players only. Ladies, if you have this guy, this Twitter user who said he can relate because his girl does the same thing when he turns on the PlayStation, dump him. Don't dump Austin Rivers for going out there and putting in this work. It is ridiculous. If your man won't get off PlayStation to spend time with you, go ahead and dump him. But Austin Rivers' girlfriend is overreacting just a touch, I think. Britt, what do you think? Do you think she's overreacting a little bit?
Yeah, considering she probably don't got no job. Like, he's trying to make that money. I'm just being honest. Like, you know, I always say to people, everybody wants like this rich guy until they realize he's rich because he works all the time. Like, are you okay with him being gone all the time? Because that's what you got to deal with if you want a successful man, period, point blank. Now, the PlayStation thing, people make money off PlayStation, you know, like there's some 2K players and stuff like that that make a lot of money. So if he's, you know, getting up there to where he can start going pro, if my man's always on play. First of all, I pray that I don't have a man that's always playing video games.
I was gonna
but if
say,
I do, I'm like, listen, babe, this is what you want to do. We got to make some money doing it. Okay, so let's get you some lessons. Whatever, like Klay Thompson had to ask for some lessons on that 2K or whatever to get better at. Let's do that. Whatever you need to do. If this is what you want to do all the time, we need to make money doing it. This ain't about to be just a hobby. If you're
right,
my time, if you're leaving my time to go do that, it can't be just a hobby.
I gotta say, even if I met a man that was like making $1 million a year off of playing PlayStation, that would not be attractive to me. You just sitting around playing games, like I need to go find
I pray
like
not play video games. Like video games,
right?
So
that's not attractive to me because all I see is that episode of South Park where they're down in the basement getting fat and fatter and fatter, and their mom keeps that. No, I don't care. You could be the most buff guy playing PlayStation.
Sweat rolling down their forehead, but it's like from the game. Like stop.
No.
Ew, I don't like this visual.
Okay.
Right. No. Okay, so look, I have to, this one's going to be fun because we all missed this one. None of y'all in the chat called me out on it yesterday. Britt and Devin, y'all didn't call me out on it yesterday either. I should have known because, but then no, because I haven't really followed the Cavs since LeBron left. Why would I? So no, I didn't know. But look, you remember when I said this yesterday and I was like, oh, let's fire the intern because you got D Wade on the thing. Yeah, I feel kind of bad because apparently there really is a D Wade on the team. His name is Dean Wade. My bad. Didn't know that. So I should probably spend some more time checking out the Cavs so I don't make this error again. So now this means that Dwayne Wade was really being encouraging when he posted this yesterday when he said, I hope he has a better Cleveland career than I did. So whoopsie, that is my bad. Yeah, there is really a D Wade on the team. So random, my bad. But at least I can laugh at myself because sometimes you just got to do that. I'm laughing at the mistake that I made. And I'm super psyched that Chris Wormley is doing the same thing because he's laughing at himself as well. I do squats all the time for this specific reason. So you cannot post this about me. But he posted Hank Hill's booty. If you guys have ever seen King of the Hill, you understand why that's funny because he has a concaved booty. That's a running joke on that cartoon. And his booty looks very much like Hank Hill's. And he says, I swear I do squats. I love this. Get in front of it because somebody saw your little misshaped booty. They was going to come for you anyway. He got in front of it. He laughed at himself. I am a fan of this. Good job. We can laugh at ourselves together. Good job, Chris. All right. This next one, though, not funny. Not funny, ladies and gentlemen. He's laughing at it now because he just secured the bag. But we've talked about this so many times that you guys don't have to spend all your money. Save it. Go to Claire's and buy the earrings like with Chad Johnson, right? So do stuff like that. Don't spend all your money. But that's not what happened to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, if you don't remember, he was a third-round pick in 2013. He signed a 4-year, $3.1 million deal that had $700,000 in signing bonuses. That $700,000 would have changed my life, but $3.1 million would have just put me in another stratosphere. But take a listen to what happened to his money from his rookie contract.
What was the first thing you purchased with some of the money from your rookie contract?
Man, I spent it all, Shannon. I should have been on the 30 for 30 broke the way all the young guys in the league, all the guys that have the opportunity to get that big first check from the NFL, save it, man. Find a financial advisor that you trust that's going to do right with your money. Because I was searching around for card deals after my first year trying to, just pay rent.
How are you struggling to pay rent in Kansas City? Kansas City, y'all. I don't know if you know anything about Kansas City. It's not, if he'd have said he was struggling to pay rent here in LA, I'd have been like, okay, a lot of people are struggling, but you probably live in extra. But come on, Kansas City, Devin, how do you spend $3.1 million? How do you spend all of that money and then struggle to pay rent? How does that happen?
I can't even wrap my mind around this, but he probably went out and bought a bunch of chains, bought a bunch of cars, all the things that we've seen all these other athletes do, and we're like, why are you spending so much money?
Right.
This is why you need to hire a financial manager as soon as you come into that rookie contract, because this is messed up.
It does explain him and his fiance breaking up. They got back together, but this statement does make that make sense. Because I was like, they were so cute together. Why did they break up? Now we know. So, yeah. All right. This next one, guys, this one is going to be reason number 90,962 why I really love Sean Payton. He's so down for his players and his team and that organization. And I like this. People gave him flack for this idea, but he had this idea that I thought was great. He was thinking out of the box. Apparently, he suggested quarantine 50,000 Saints fans to create a scientifically safe home field advantage in the Superdome. Doesn't sound like he'll get it, though, but his wish, but he was thinking about it. It's not going to happen, but I love that. You guys, the Superdome is so loud. It definitely gives a home field advantage, and it's just weird seeing the Superdome empty for me. I love the idea. I totally would have done it if I would have had the opportunity to do one of these safe quarantines so I could go to the game. Totally would have done it, but I have been quarantining safely outside of that, so I don't fall into the demographic that that Nathan Wiskell is talking about. But he says, LOL, has he met America? But this would be the most 2020 thing ever. People will quarantine and follow the rules for a football game, but not for just like normal life. Which is so true. It's unfortunate, but people would. Those people that you see on those videos that won't wear masks in a grocery store because they call us all sheep, those people would wear a mask so they could go to a football game. I guarantee it. I like what this user said because this is actually the real question. Like, how do you even monitor 50,000 people? How do you even make 50,000, not players, not people who you're paying, that you can actually force them to do it? Britt, do you have any idea what that would have looked like? It's not going to happen, but if it did happen, what would that look like? How could you control 50,000 people?
You got to put like the house arrest monitor on them, snap it on their ankle, can't leave the house, and put those little ringer thingies at the door so no one else can come in, nobody else can come to your house. But people would do it. Are you kidding me? Saints fans would absolutely do it. I don't even know a team of fans that wouldn't do it. Like, if they had the opportunity to go to a playoff game or even the Super Bowl at that, they would definitely do it for sure. Like, and it is sad. It is crazy that people would do it for those moments, but won't even, again, wear a mask and go to the grocery store. Welcome to American
crazy
people. It was funny yesterday because you guys know California is like super closed. Crazy, whatever. They posted something about, oh, you guys take a break on shopping right now. And then everyone's like, why don't you close the malls and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, those are the same people that just yelled about everything being closed when it should be open. And then also, why do they have to close the malls for you to not go? Just don't go. You don't have to. Just because the malls are open doesn't mean you got to go. Right.
Yeah, it's crazy how people are with that. It makes no sense to me, especially like, I told you guys I just came from Denver that had that huge outbreak of people getting the virus. And then now they have that mutant version of the virus. But guess what they did on Monday? They reopened at half capacity. So it's like, hey, common sense ain't that common, guys. It's fine. It's just work with what you got. Work with what you got. So this next one, we're gonna move on to this one because this one I wanted to show you a clip, but we don't have the video for that. But I just want to let you guys know, if you are a Clemson fan for any reason, this is his on his page. He posted a Twitter. It's a long video basically saying thank you to the Clemson family, but he is going to go ahead and declare for the NFL draft, which I think everybody knew. I think there were a few Clemson fans out there who were hanging on to dear life to hope that he would stay. I don't know why, but he is moving on. The video is actually really good. So if you get a chance, go ahead on over to his Twitter page. It's about 2.5, 3 minutes long. It's really sweet. And he just thanks everyone for what they did. One of the things he said that really kind of touched my heart a little bit was he said that he feels like, all of his coaches helped him become a man. He feels like he is a man who can handle the things that are going to be thrown his way in the NFL. He seems so grounded, so humble. I think he's going to be an asset to whatever team he goes to. We know the Jags have the number 1 pick and the Jets have the number 2. So then this, Twitter user kind of gave his condolences after watching the video. He basically said, all that just to end up on the Jags. That's so sad, my king. So let me just ask both of you guys, like, what do you think? if he ends up on the Jags, Britt, I'm gonna start with you. Is that a horrible thing, or is that his moment to really shine and kind of elevate that franchise?
It's not a horrible moment, and it's the moment of top quarterbacks. All top
Right.
quarterbacks end up on the worst teams. That's just how it goes, and that's their opportunity to then go and build a franchise and do what they need to do. And he's going to have, and honestly, it's usually a better situation because they're not brought into a situation of coming, from a winning team. So there's no expectation, there's no pressure. And especially Jacksonville, one of the worst teams. Their defense is even worse than their offense is. They have one of the worst defenses in the league. Terrible team. But they also are in a small market. It's not like you're going to like a big city, because I think number 4 overall pick is Miami Dolphins. So it's not like he's going to like this big market. He's going to a small town place. I don't even know one Jacksonville Jag fan. Never met one in my life. It's not like they have this fandom across the country where they have all these fans and stuff like that. So I think he's going into a good, quiet place that doesn't have there's not a lot of negativity around the organization. There's not a lot of hoopla. There's just nothing. It's just they kind of go ghost and they kind of just fly under the radar. Obviously, his presence there is going to bring more spotlights and stuff to the organization, but he's not in this place where he's like in a Miami or in, if he got picked up by the Jets, being in that New York market, which is the number 1 media market in the country, he's not being put in those situations, hopefully, if he does go to the Jags. He's not being put in those situations where you're already being put into this like craziness of the nightlife and the big bright lights and whatever. So I think that if he does go to the Jags, that actually would be a good move for him. I think that would be a good little spot, and he could develop and grow. And that team, their offense is okay. Their defense is really the problem. So I don't know that they're 100% going to pick him, but I think obviously they should. But there's some moments that I think are going to work well in his favor if he does go to the Jags.
Yeah. Devin, so my question for you is, we talked about several times, Britt and I think that, especially when you come in as a rookie, it's not your job to all of a sudden carry that franchise. You should have an opportunity to learn. He's probably not going to he'll have to learn in the Lions den kind of, because if he goes to the Jags, he's probably going to start kind of thing. Do you think that, from what you've seen of him, do you think that he's going to be able to handle that? Like, it's not pressure, like Britt said, because nobody expects y'all to really do anything. But do you think he's going to be able to handle that leadership moment from what you've seen of him so far?
I think he will. I think that he'll be able to handle it. And I think that going to a team like this is going to benefit him. He's going to have that opportunity to shine. He's going to have that opportunity to really kind of like develop without being in anybody else's shadow. So yeah, I think that he can definitely handle this, the pressure, but not really pressure, but he's going to be able to handle this situation and make an impact. And I think that it is going to be a good move. It's solid. Also, I do want to say we do have one Jags fan in the chat. So
hi.
There you go.
Never met one.
But I was going to say hi, but he told me to shut up. So never mind.
But
I'm not talking to
never
real people.
mind.
Later.
Take the high back.
But I said I've never met a Jags fan. So it's still true. I've never met you, my guy. So, and you don't even have a profile picture. So can't meet you or know who you are.
Maybe he's in the basement playing that PlayStation. You don't have time for a profile picture, Britt. All right, so we're gonna move on to this next one, because I'm gonna have to take a picture one day and show you guys, but I have like a LeBron James wall. Most of the art that I have, I've gotten off of Amazon. There's one picture that I wanted specifically that I just ordered from Amazon. It arrived on New Year's Eve and it's trash. It's completely grainy. It's supposed to be like an actual drawing. It's not. It's some pixelated picture that I had to send back to Amazon. So I'm really excited because I am going to hit this girl up that our producer found on TikTok, and she's drawing LeBron James, you guys. And look, let me tell you something. I'm for real gonna hit her up, because this is the picture that I was supposed to get from Amazon. Except for it was in color. Hers is in black and white. But my girl can draw, and she's young. I'm down to support. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful?
That's very good. Mm-hmm.
I'm hitting her up today. So y'all just make note, take a moment, zoom in on the screen if you can, get her name, because you guys know you want a picture. If it's not LeBron, nobody's perfect. I get it. But get your favorite athlete, get her to draw it. Let's lift this young lady up, get her some work, because she's extremely talented and I love it. I can't wait to support her. But before I get out of here, we're going to move on to what we not going to do. Oh, guys, what we not going to do is be complete and total boneheads. I feel like that's the running theme of this segment, like, because everything is just kind of off. But I don't know if you guys remember, because it was a few years ago that Tom Brady in the offseason had gone somewhere with his family, and he was on this cliff, and he ended up diving off the cliff into the water, and everyone was like, no, he shouldn't have done that. He's violating his contract. What if he had hurt himself? Like, everyone was up in arms because they didn't want to see their star quarterback get hurt, right? Ridiculous, because it was his off season and he was just enjoying himself. But you get it. Okay, you didn't want him to get hurt. But it was the off season. Now, imagine if you're the Browns, who I just, 2 weeks ago, stopped calling purgatory. I don't understand what's going on with them. But let me try to explain this a little differently. So I took a screenshot of the stats, because I feel like a picture is worth 1,000 words. So all that in yellow, all that is when they missed the playoffs. Those are all the years that they have missed the playoffs. What's even worse, if you probably can't see, is their record. Their records are just consistently trash. They were 2-14, 3-13. In 2016, they were 1-15. The next year, they were 0-16. Last year, they were 6-10. So they have been consistently trash. This year, they put together an 11-5 record, which is their best record in quite some time. The last time they were 11-5 was 1994. Some of y'all in the chat weren't even born the last time the Browns had a winning record. So this, I understand it's just a playoff berth, but this is just a monumental moment for them, because it's been so long since they've been decent. And I would think that every single person in that Browns organization would be doing everything they can do to stay healthy, so they can make sure that they are ready for their first playoff game in like 18 years. And the crazy thing is, I'm not talking about their head coach. I know you guys have all seen that their head coach has tested positive for COVID. So now their special teams coach is going to be the acting head coach, which is put you in a difficult situation. And I know that sucks, but that's actually not what I'm talking about right now. What I am talking about right now is two men on the Browns organization, Richard Higgins and Jedarick Willis Jr., decided on Tuesday that this was the perfect time, 5 days before playoffs, to go drag racing. So they decided to jump in their cars, race down the street, which I hate people that drag race unless you're on like an actual controlled track, because drag racing can not only just jeopardize you could hit somebody, you could hurt somebody, you can hurt yourselves, you can hurt property. I hate when people drag race because I think it's just way too reckless. But police did stop them, and it was an early morning drag race. Maybe they thought that, since we're out early in the morning, it's not a big deal. But in addition to getting cited for this drag racing, they also had marijuana in the car. Now, the funny thing about that is there is apparently a video of them disposing of the marijuana, but it almost looks like it's at the direction of the cops, because they're doing it right in front of the police, and they weren't cited for or tested for being under the influence of anything. So cops are probably Browns fans, I would assume. But according to their attorney, both players will plead not guilty to the first-degree misdemeanor, which can carry up to 6 months in jail and $1,000 fine. What we not going to do is do something so moronic that could potentially land us in jail days before the playoffs. This is ridiculous, because now the NFL can step in and make you sit out this game because you've done this, you've misconduct. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why 5 days before your playoff game you would do something like this. You could have hurt somebody. Higgins is 26, Willis is 21. So yeah, but they're both starters. Higgins is a starting wide receiver. Wills is a starting left tackle. So both of you guys, it's not like you guys were third string and it was like, hey, they're not gonna play us anyway, which still I wouldn't condone it, but I could understand that thought process. Like, I'm not gonna play, so what difference does it make? But you were definitely going into the playoffs. This is reckless. you going up against the number 3 defense in the league against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who basically let y'all win that last game because Big Ben wasn't playing. I don't get it. I don't understand the thought process. Devin, I want to come to you because I would still be upset if these men did this in the offseason because, like I said, they could have harmed themselves and other people. But like I just said in the Austin Rivers one, ball should be life. And in this moment, ball was not life. And how would you punish these guys going into the playoffs, their first playoff appearance since 2002? Would you punish them for being this reckless right before the game?
I mean, yeah, I think I would because it is, like you said, this is the first time that they're getting this opportunity in a long time. And for them to go out and jeopardize it like this, not only endangering themselves, endangering the people around them, but also just like putting themselves in a situation where they could get hurt. To me, it's just ridiculous. I'm 100% with you. I hate drag racers. We have them a lot in the freeways in LA. And it's scary when you're, on the road at the same time and you see people just driving like assholes, merging lanes and all of that. So yes, I think that this is absolutely ridiculous, and they probably should be punished in some way, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure Browns fans are hoping that they are punished after the playoffs because they're going to need every man on deck to do anything against that number 3 defense. So good luck. Purgatory. I'm gonna have to go back to calling y'all purgatory just for this time being because this is ridiculous. But that's all I got for what we not gonna do. And now it's time. Where's your water bottle? Where's your water bottle?
Right here.
Because now it's time for Brit's Takes.
Brit's Takes.
Nice.
All right, guys, it is time for Brit's Take, and I am going to dive into something that Jackie spoke a little bit on earlier, and that is the Atlanta Dream Team and what a dream they are, what they were able to do. This is why, you guys, people told basketball players, told athletes to just shut up and dribble because of the power that they actually have. So the race has been called by NBC and ABC and a few other people for the winner already. And so I'm going to just go with that. But again, I'm also I don't like to say stuff until it's official. So I'm just not going to say anything yet. But with regards to this story, this is how we're going to do this. Obviously, this Atlanta had this, or Georgia, had this runoff election that literally is going to determine who controls the Senate, because then if the 2 Democratic senators or Senate people win in Georgia, then it's going to be a 50-50 split. And then Kamala Harris has the deciding vote. Obviously, presidency, vice president, they're Democrats, so we would get the vote. This means, you guys, that we will get to legalize marijuana, and we will also get to get those $2,000 stimmy checks we've been wanting. So I don't know why everyone wouldn't vote for that, but there's some people that don't care. But the Atlanta Dream played a huge part in this. I know we talk a lot about Stacey Abrams and what she was able to do on the ground after losing governor's race 2 years ago. She lost for this reason. Everything always, when you look back at it and in the hindsight of it, and you're like, oh my gosh, everybody was so disappointed and sad, and the cheating and, the voter stuff that went on in Georgia when she did lose, everybody tripped out about it. But she lost for a reason, and that was literally to save our democracy. And we talk a lot about her, but we cannot forget about what the Atlanta Dream did. Jackie mentioned a little bit earlier about how they were wearing those shirts. They started wearing those shirts in order to support the pasta. And it was a huge feat. And they did not just have that money that they raised, but they did a lot more in just publicizing him and making him popular. Jamil Hill actually posted this tweet, if we could get that up. I don't know who needs to hear this, but Reverend Raphael Warnock was polling at 9% when the Atlanta Dream and the WNBA players threw their full support behind him and elevated his national profile. Now he's Georgia's first Black senator. 9%, you guys. 9%. That's how, there was no chance in heck he was going to win. And then we all know what the Atlanta Dream Team did. And then obviously the WNBA came behind because you know who their owner is. Jackie talked about it earlier, Loeffler, and they wanted not just her out as an owner, but they want her out as a senator, which she was actually appointed that position. She's never won that position. She was appointed that position last year, and they wanted her out, and they did the thing. So I think this moment right here is so clear cut as to why so many people want athletes and others in the entertainment business to just shut up and do their job, because they really are powerful. This literally helped 9%. And then after Atlanta Dream started supporting them and the WNBA started supporting them, he just won as the first Black senator ever in a state that's been red forever, and now is not only blue in who they voted for as a president, but blue in having both of their potentially, hopefully, both of their senators be Democrats too. Like, this is so amazing. It is so dope. And I love to see athletes being in these positions now that we're starting to see this change happen, where they're really understanding the power of their voice, and everybody is understanding now the power of their vote. I hope we never go back to a day where people don't believe that their vote matters, because this year we really saw how much it does matter, especially in, states that were so close. The election races were so close. Like, even these wins are like 50.6% to like the 49.4% or whatever. They are so close. These races were so close, and everybody's vote counts. So I know we have a lot of young people that follow the Fumble. If you guys are not eligible to vote yet, when you guys are, I hope you guys remember this moment and realize how powerful your vote is and how much every single vote actually does matter. And your voice matters even more in the Atlanta Dream Team. Even though, people always want to hate the WNBA, nobody cares, nobody watches. Well, people watched enough to help them change a vote. And I think that is beautiful. And I think that whenever you guys feel like you are not deserving or you are not enough, look at this moment. You are, and it is so beautiful to see. And I just wanted to, have this little positive moment. And shout out to them, because a lot of people have talked about Stacey, which she's done a tremendous job, and we haven't heard much about the Atlanta Dream and what they contributed to this. But it is so amazing, and I'm just so happy, and I'm so thankful to have this moment. And I hope we always remember that moment and remember to continue to vote, and that we do control this democracy if we actually participate in it. So that is it for Brit's Take, you guys. Always make sure you vote in your primary elections, vote in the big elections, do everything that you possibly can, because you do matter. We all matter.
Yeah.
Even you guys in the basement, come up from your PlayStation in the basement, just enough to vote. Okay, you can go back down there if you want.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to make it in the future that you can actually vote from your PlayStation. That's going to happen.
That's what the PlayStation people need to do. Add that. Get that on a ballot somewhere, so then they can start voting on that, and you won't even have to leave your couch.
Yep.
I love it. It was such a monumental moment. So thanks so much for drawing some attention to that, Britt. You guys, the show's done, so let's wrap it up. Make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below. We will be back again at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. We can't wait to see you there. Have a great Wednesday, you guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Hump day.